Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jennifer Britton. I'm the author of The 90-Day Guide for Success, and I'm really excited to bring to you this 4-day challenge. This is going to take about 15-20 minutes, and the 4-day challenge is geared to get you into daily steps and consistent action to create some momentum. So if this book name is familiar, it's been around since the fall of 2021. And what's new in 2024 is the card deck. And so as you can see on the screen, and that's what we're going to be using today, we're going to use a digital version of the card deck. It is going to be available for order soon in the physical form. You might have seen me with the deck this summer. But as I record this in September 2024, it's time to get back to work. So really excited to bring this to you. Deck 1 is now available. It covers days 1 through 30 of this very colorful elements chart, as you can see here. Now, the deck and the book were originally geared for people who are onboarding and reboarding in today's evolving workspace. What I found over the last 3 years is this is being used a lot by coaches. It's used by entrepreneurs who want a bit of a sprint. It's being used by leaders who want to give a copy of the book, or hopefully now actually the card deck, into their team members. And a lot of leaders are also using this as part of their team meetings. So in the advent of the deck, which literally sits in your hand, I want to ask, what would it be like to have a coach in your hand every day? What would it be like to be able to take just a few minutes to go into your phone, start the app, and do some work? We're going to actually experiment with that today. I'm going to be taking you into it as we go. So I want to give you a bit of a backstory. Again, it's based on the 90-Day Guide for Success, which is book 2 of the Reconnecting Workspaces series. And I launched this in the hopes that it would be used as an onboarding resource, and it has been. What is different than 2021 is just the space of the workplace continues to evolve. It's no longer remote. It's not even hybrid in many instances, but there's a lot of variance. What has not changed over time is the fact that a lot of new employees don't get any support. Even those of us at all stages are finding that budgets are being rolled back, there's no time. And this is where I really think that the card deck sits in. So you'll see the deck slides sort of two and 4. And I don't want to get too much into it, but really I hope that you're going to enjoy it if you are more of that tangible hand holder. Now, to follow along for more resources, I want to invite you to scan this link because there is going to be a mailing list which will set this out. Because this is the first time I've done a 4-day challenge for the 90-Day Guide, I'm going to be doing this on YouTube. So I do hope that you'll follow along, or you can go to https://LP constantcontactpages.com/SL/r big X Q number 3 PBB/90DG. It's a lot to notice, but really, however you want, follow along. And I have set up a new Instagram. You'll find that at the 90-Day Guide for Success. And I hope that you'll really find this to be a useful element, whether you are joining us on YouTube, Instagram, through the book, through the physical card deck, or through the digital card deck. So I'm going to be doing this. I'm trying it, piloting it this month. It is going to be more asynchronous than anything. And so I hope that you'll take this at a time that works for you. My vision is that I'll be doing one of these a month to generate not only insight or exposure, but to also get you into these 4-day sprint cycles, because certainly the workplace is busy and we all can benefit from 15 minutes. So the 90-Day Guide for Success, just to give you, it really provides a focus each day for either onboarding or reboarding success over a 30-day period. So I've taken the entire book, broken it down, as you'll see, and you could use it as a conversation starter with your team or as an individual contributor. You might also supplement or augment your regular onboarding process. So if you're an HR professional, listen up. This provides your team and new team members with a guided map on their phone that they can go to as they get into the office, on their commute. It is a great way to get people into action because it is designed around these different areas. As you can see here, all these different areas in 9 categories that we'll go into. Each day, like you'll see here, there's a quote, There's also a focus, what is important, and a daily question to be thinking about. And then there's a card that relates to the step. What can you do now? So think of it as the what, so what, now what? What is the topic? So what's important? And that's our quote. And then now what are you going to do about it? It is along these 9 different areas. And I want to spotlight them because we need to look at these and shore these up at all stages. How we work, me as an employee, the skills, the context of our work, our team, time management and personal productivity, tools, the iceberg, and also our relationships. So I liken this to be a 15-minute tool that you can use every day. Like journaling, it is an opportunity to really just start taking consistent, focused energy and action. The world of work is changing and it's ongoing change, and that can mean that people are getting burnt out. It can also mean that people are really finding it difficult to get traction. And that truly is why I've introduced it in 2024 to help people pull a card, refer to the day, at least get some grounding. Now, I've chosen to host this as a digital element so that you do have the coach in your hand on Deckible. You'll find that as an app. You can download it to your Apple or your Android device. And I have both. So I'm going to be using today the Android version, but tomorrow I'll be coming at it through the Apple lens, just so that you see both ways. As I said, it can be used by many different ways: onboarding, sprints, resource for one-on-ones. Over the last few years, a lot of leaders have purchased the book and they actually assign chapters to their employees. Those employees come back for one-on-one or even into a team conversation. And maybe you're just an entrepreneur wanting a boost. In fact, I think I'm going to be doing a 90-day guide for entrepreneurs edition just to get coaches and leaders and entrepreneurs going. So let's experiment with it because it's fun to sort of say, here's what it is, but what does it really look like? So I'm going to stop my share. As you can see, it's 9:38. I want to keep this call to sort of 15, 20 minutes, might be a bit longer today. And I'm in the app. So I'm actually in the Deckible app. You'll see that I've downloaded a number of decks. Some are mine, some are others. So this summer I worked on launching the 90-day guide for success, also the Activate Success deck. And I would say that when you go to Deckible, you have the choice of downloading any deck for a 3-day trial period. So follow along and find the 90-day guide for success deck 1. Again, this is covering the first 30 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. You just simply tap and you'll see here that you can browse. So let's just browse, and I'm going to just enter that in and browse. So what naturally comes up is the back of the card. Okay, that's our 90-day card. I am going to view it on the canvas because I want to be able to choose something. Okay, so I'm going to actually just go back out of the canvas. I'm going to go choose, browse. I'll do a quick draw, and I'm going to start. And so let's see what comes up. Double tap. And the day that has come up for me today is day 25, which is all about networking. So I'm going to read this out to you. This is one of the Get Into Action cards, and it says, consider these conversation sparkers at your next event, because one of the things I've heard as a speaker is people don't know how to network. What do I do? And so here are actually several questions that you could use and incorporate. I'm not going to go through all of them, but if you're new and you're wanting to expand your network this fall, which is really a key topic for so many people I'm working with, maybe you just start the question. I wanted to set up this meeting so I could learn more about your work and learn about how our work might connect and interface. Tell me a little bit about what you do. Now listen to the person. What should I know about your work? Or maybe what are your current priorities? So whether you're working internally or you are reaching out to others in your industry, in your organization, these are great questions. Now you're going to notice some little dots on the bottom, which means that this is not the only card. So I'm going to actually move it. I'm going to tap it, and I want to see what else is on the card. So there's option to look here. And in addition to the day 25, I can tap it again. And I'm given now the quote. And here's the quote for day 25. Networking is the #1 unwritten rule of success in business. And that's from Sally Krawcheck. So that is our quote for the day. I tap it again. Okay, so back to this screen, it'll come up here. and it's going to take me into some bonus questions for the digital dozen. As I say here, starting a conversation is not always intuitive. Here's some other questions you might draw upon in networking settings. What makes people successful in this space? What else is important to note? Where else is important to explore? Or maybe what skills should I develop? So I hope that you'll find that valuable. You'll notice there's also a video available for each day, and that's going to take you into a small short that I recorded. All right, day 24 is all about project management. In today's evolving workspace, projects are often the currency and the building blocks of how we get things done. What are you noticing about your projects and what do they track? So those are just 1-minute tips. Now, the piece that I would encourage people to follow along with is as you go through that networking day, there is an opportunity then to journal. And so the journaling function is going to show up, as I'll show you in a little bit. It's going to show up later. But I'd invite you to think about what is the one question you want to take forward, or what is the one thing you want to do with this. So as I start to do that, journal entry, it comes up. I can type it. And my to-do is to set meeting with whomever. I'm also going to go back. I want to note, and I can actually do this by voice. So my typing is not as fast as some others, even though I'm a fast typer. I'm actually going to make a note here, voice note. So my note for today is to take a look at these bonus questions. I want to refer to the bonus questions next time I sit down with the mentor that I have been assigned. So now my voice notes come in. What is beautiful about that is whether I learn by writing, and you could also have your own guide, right? You could have a journal. I don't have a journal here. Actually, I do have one of my journals, right? You could also have a journal, and you could be taking notes as you go. So every day is a new day. You could, if you like, and you're needing to go fast, you could then just take this. So what happens with the journal notes, right? I've done the voice input. You're gonna see the journal entry there, and I'm gonna back out of this because I'm done. I have to go to a meeting. So I'm gonna save it to the timeline, save it to the timeline. And what I can do now is I now notice my notes. This was my focus for the day. It comes back again. Okay, so I can see it. I can tap it. I can go into the different sides of it. I can refer to this again. But most importantly, as you'll see, I can go back to the journal. And what is great about that is if I want to refresh myself, I can either go into the card, or as you saw here, it's showing up on your Deckible timeline. So I'm going to discard the changes, but it's right there. So this is an invaluable tool, and I really am wanting to bring out this challenge to really get you into trying this out. So maybe networking is your focus. I opted today just to do a random pull. Again, you could, just going back into the deck, you could also, rather than do a quick draw, you could browse. So I just want to take you into that browse function, because what happens with the browse is it's going to take you from the start. So just how to use the deck. As I said here, congratulations on your choice to create daily focus on the results and relationships that surround your work. This guide was created as the second book of the Reconnecting Workspaces series. You can use this as part of an onboarding process, as part of a daily focus for your work, etc., etc. If you choose to do this, you're going to see some more of the sort of context cards. I go into the 4 principles. I'll talk about these tomorrow, but you'll get into the actual days, okay? So let me not get into it, but day 1 is all about settling in, and some invites for you to think about taking time to get settled. So we are now at the 15-minute mark. Today's intent was to get you downloading Deckible, picking a date, whether you go to date 1, and again, I have chosen that one is through the browse function. Earlier, we did a random pull using the draw option, and that took us into our networking function. Now, networking is not going to show up on yours until you actually go to it. But as I showed you, I went into the journal function. You could set the timer for 5 minutes. That's using the meditate. I just simply use a journal, and that's going to bring up, as you'll see here, my notes, right? I could type it in, or I can use my voice prompt, as I like to do on my phone because I'm not as fast a typer. So let us know. I hope that you'll join us, follow along on Instagram. I'm going to be putting these up on YouTube for now. We've experimented a little bit with this and just want to see if there's anything else. So you can, if you aren't really keen on card decks, pick up a copy of the book. As I said, Deckible is the greatest option. I really love this because it's a coach in your hand. I've been bringing this into our team retreat days or our team strengths days. I had one of those in downtown Toronto yesterday. We're booking out for the rest of the year. And what is nice is I'll be giving every team that I work with this fall either a digital copy of the Deckible deck or a physical copy I'll be bringing to you as your team. If you want to talk about any of these 90-day topics, bring me in as a speaker. I talk on everything from team effectiveness to leadership development, affecting and moving through change to embracing the chaos, as I talked about in my TEDx talks. And maybe you want some coaching. So myself and my coaching team, we work with individuals, groups, and teams. We are known as a go-to resource for group and team coaching. So with that, that is it for today. I hope that you will go back. I'm going to just go back to this listing of where you can sign up for the list. So head over to lp.constantcontactpages.com/sl/RXQ3PBB/90DG. Tomorrow, when we meet at 9:30, I will have a QR code for this, so I'll remind you of that. But once you get on the list, I'll be doing regular updates. And I hope, of course, that you will join us in tomorrow's session. And that will be followed along. I'll tag it on Instagram at 90-Day Guide for Success. All right, everyone, be well. Thank you for joining us. See you tomorrow.